Good morning.
And we hope you'll enjoy this episode of ARC News.
We will be discussing the Berlin Wall in this episode. What, why, and where it happened.
You may have heard of the Great Wall of China, but the Berlin Wall was very different. It was built in the dead of night, August 12, 1961, in East Berlin, East Germany, to keep East Germans from fleeing to the west. It stayed up for 28 years until it fell November 10, 1989. The fall of the wall was celebrated around the world and allowed the long-separated Germany to reunify.
Why the wall was built is due to the state of Germany after World War II. Germany was divided into 4 sectors after the war. Each Allied power occupied one. The Soviet Union had control over East Germany, and the city of Berlin was similarly divided, even though it was located in the eastern, Soviet-controlled part of Germany. In this division of Berlin, the Soviet Union had control over the east now. Both East Germany and East Berlin were under communist control, but the rest of Germany and Berlin were capitalist.
The Allied powers wanted to start constructing Germany to make it self-sufficient again, but a rift began the capitalist powers in the Soviet Union. Reunification plans didn't include any of the Soviet Union's influence, so they didn't want to give up their section of East Germany nor East Berlin. The communist power over East Berlin began to suffocate the people, so people began to flee to West Berlin for better opportunities. The Berlin Wall was constructed to end this, to keep East Berliners in East Berlin. The wall did not attract immediate attention, but divided many families and caused many hardships to the East Berlin people, on top of the crumbling living state from being under communist power.
The Berlin Wall was more than a physical wall that separated East Berlin from West Berlin. It was a symbolic barrier that separated the world's 2 superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. This increasingly heightened tensions between the 2 countries during the infamous Cold War, which spread economic, political, and social tensions throughout the entire globe.
The fall of the Berlin Wall was rather brief and sudden. It came down on the night of November 9, 1989. Communism had already weakened over the past couple of years due to Mikhail Gorbachev, the 7th and final ruler of the Soviet Union, and his policies that were somewhat capitalized along with the nation and its surrounding satellite countries. Along with this newly found economic freedom that Eastern Europe was experiencing for the first time in almost 30 years, also came political freedom. Many of the countries were finally allowed to make their own decisions in government without the consent of the USSR, and Germany was one of the countries allowed to do so as well.
With that, East Germany changed its communist-influenced government. With its new government, the nation passed a travel law that permitted East Germans to freely travel and or immigrate as they pleased. At 6:53 on November 9, 1989, a press conference was held to discuss the recently approved law. A member of the East German government was asked when the law would be executed, and his response was, well, as far as I can see, straight away. That night, thousands of East Germans crossed the border to reunite with their fellow German people. The reign of the notorious wall was over, as well as the Cold War.
Today the wall is mostly gone, and pieces of the wall can be viewed across various museums and other institutes throughout the world. You can even go to Germany and buy pieces of the wall. To the west, the Berlin Wall was viewed as oppression by communism, and to the east, the wall was viewed by people as protection from the Western corruption. Either way, the wall may be gone today, but it will always be remembered.
Let's ponder as to what would happen if the Berlin Wall was never built. What would Germany and the rest of the world be like today? Communism would have likely crumbled sooner, and East Germans would have fled to West Germany in greater numbers. But what if the wall was torn down, but still standing to this day? Possibly, could communism still be as strong as it once was, or would it have died off anyway? We end this episode with these thoughts.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
And we hope you learned a lot about the Berlin Wall.
Remember to catch the ARC News team every week at 3rd period.
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.